dear subscribers and viewers, it's me with you again, and today I'm going to talk to you on a very important and difficult topic of these times about spreading coronavirus infection. And the main point I'm going to touch today is how to stay healthy, psychologically healthy first of all, in these difficult times. Of course, there is no use to tell you that there is no infection to be afraid of, there is no disease to be afraid of. There is, because you see that countries close their borders, put their citizens in quarantine and close down their citizen towns. It's economically ineffective. And countries won't do that, governments won't do that if there is no real disease. There is a disease and people are falling in, and people sometimes, only sometimes, remember that, are dying. But that is not the point, that is not the reason to be nervous all the time. Remember that you being nervous won't change the situation at all. If you face home isolation, if you face self-isolation at home, if you are in quarantine, your being nervous won't change that situation. You will stay in quarantine still, but you will face difficulties caused only by your nervousness, apart from coronavirus infection. You may face rising blood pressure and some other problems caused only by your behavior, and in the end you can die not of the coronavirus but of these consequences of your being nervous. So try to keep calm. Remember that your keeping calm will help you to stay healthier than if you are nervous. In the next few videos, I will tell you something about the techniques helping people to keep calm in difficult situations. But in this video, I'm going to tell you about some practical advice, general advice, how to stay calm and psychologically healthy in difficult situations. Well, first of all, try to imagine a situation, a pleasant situation from the past. Try to remember the place, try to remember your position, try to remember your feelings. Who were you with? What did you think? What did you feel then? Remember the surroundings. Did you stay up or did you sit? What did people tell you at that time? What did make you so happy? Of course, I can't tell the answers to all these questions except for you leaving the answers in the comments or giving some personal response. But remember the feelings you have at that situation and try to prolong that feelings. These questions are easy to answer. I was happy when? I was happy with whom? What did make me so happy? And the next question you have to answer is much more difficult. The question is who I was then. This is not simply a question of the situation, about the situation or about the surroundings, about the people you were with, but this is the question about yourself. It's about self-identity, and that is why it is so difficult to answer. Who I was. People imagine themselves being different creatures, different people, different professionals. Who I was then. Sometimes people feel even as birds flying over large distances, or like animals. They feel like a cat, like a nice dog, loving dog, running around huge distances, free of everything, free of all the troubles. They feel as great professionals, as kings, as queens. Who are you? Who were you? Were you a gardener? Were you a king? Were you a princess? Were you happy? Yes. And try to sustain that state of being happy, being a happy person. I hope that this advice will help you to feel happy, at least for some time. And when you analyze this situation, when you are maintaining that situation, try to thank yourself for being happy. Step back, take a step back from that situation, and then try to analyze logically. What can I do now? How can I develop personally or professionally to make this situation come true? It may be difficult. It may it may demand some efforts, but it may be worth it. And even being in the conditions of quarantine, you can do something to reach that situation of happiness. For example, if you imagined yourself being an important and famous writer, you can start writing a book. You can put your poems or your stories in order and try to connect an editor. Of course, there must be many things that you wanted to do when you have free time. So now you have free time. If you are not working from home, of course, personally I do work from home, give classes from home, but if you don't work from home, you must have much free time and try to fulfill all the activities you wanted to, all the things you wanted to do these things. Then, the next advice. If some situation is difficult for you, for example, the situation of quarantine at these times, try to imagine this situation as a picture. What does it look like? Have you imagined? After you have imagined the situation as a picture, take a step back from that picture. Try to change it. As the scene in the video is changed, change it in your imagination. Change it to something pleasant for you. And believe me, your emotional state will change too. If it doesn't, try the next technique. Imagine a very difficult situation for you as a picture again. Try to erase it. Then try to burn it. Then try to drown it. The next technique that can work for you is erasing letters technique. Try to write down the thing that makes you worried. In this situation, it may be a coronavirus infection. So write on a piece of paper, clean piece of paper, white piece of paper, in your imagination, the letters, the words coronavirus infection. And then imagine each letter in these two words disappearing until the whole phrase disappears. Well, in the next few videos, in order not to make these videos too long for you, I will tell you about the techniques that help people to stay healthy in difficult situations. And now, I wish you to stay healthy. I wish you to stay well. Remember that everything will be well in the end. Everything will be well with your relatives, with the people surrounding you. Yes, People sometimes fall ill, but it doesn't mean something really dangerous or really ending in something bad. Not necessarily. And much depends on you, much depends on your psychological health, whether you can stay healthy or not. Because if you are nervous, just nervous, you are damaging your immune system. And your immune system, in return, can't defend you after that. If you are trying to make use of the time that is free, if you are trying to use some techniques to maintain your psychological health, trying to stay healthy psychologically, then your immune system will thank you by defending you from the disease, and you won't fall ill. I wish you to stay healthy. Yours, Wise Life. Goodbye.